we got a comment from Tony Monroe 234, who says this may
Blake
be
Monroe's
a
brother.
really big hot take, but I think someone should take head of creative from Triple H. I think we need fresh eyes on the company. Big hot take to your point there, Tony. But
I got it. Hire me. I got it.
What?
I got it. Someone should take over. I got it. I was just putting my hand up.
Oh, right. You
I
put
thought he
your
was picking
hat
someone.
in the...
Yeah, I just want to say I want to put my name in the hat.
Submitting your application. Archie, what's your thoughts on this?
I think I think he's right, and who should take over is our very own Anthony Ricciardi, who's very who's basically the best fantasy booker in wrestling media. No, I'm kidding, obviously. Although Ant would do a great job as a writer in WWE, but no, I think this is a bit over the top. I think the thing is with WWE is yes, it was very hot last year, like burning hot, but flames always die out, and you've got to wait before it builds up again. And it was always going to be like this. It wasn't going to stay as hot as it was last year. And now you're seeing it die down a bit, but that's okay because there's always going to be downfalls of a wrestling product. It's not going to be perfect all the time. And now I think what they're doing and what Triple H is doing is as his best is kind of playing the long game and trying to find that next bloodline storyline that can take the product to the next level and take it into the mainstream again and get fans going crazy again. That's what I think is happening in WWE right now. I don't think Triple H needs to be replaced at all. I think Triple H is the best booker for what WWE wants their product to be. He kind of gets what TKO want and what the WWE fans want. It might not be what every fan wants, but it's still working because they're still making a lot of money. So I don't think he needs to be replaced. He does need to make sure, I think in the next 3 or 4 years, he does need to make sure there's a plan in place for somebody to be the heir apparent to him, like maybe a Seth Rollins or a Cody Rhodes. But right now, I think Triple H is doing a fine job in creative. It's on a bit of a downfall at the minute, but it'll pick back up and it'll go back down again. That's just the way that the wrestling business goes.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Archie, my personal issue with the booking right now is not actually the big picture stuff, because I think with the big picture stuff, he is doing a solid job. There's obviously some things which don't go the way they want, Cena's heel turn, but for the most part, it's, a lot of good. My issue, and it's becoming a lot of people's issue, is the week-to-week product. The weekly shows aren't at the level they were at 12, 18, 24 months ago even. So if I'm being honest, what I would do is I'd have Triple H as the head of creative still. Don't take that from him, but have him either focus on Raw or SmackDown and then delegate the other brand to somebody such as a Scott D'Amore. But they still need to report back to Triple H to make sure it's all under one big umbrella and one big vision. But on a week-to-week basis, you have somebody else looking after another show.
And sorry, I know it's Archie's turn too, but DCX Warlord, I want to read this. Abyss would be a perfect replacement.
That's a great shout
Chris
too.
Park is absolutely capable of that job.
And
he's been there forever, and the matches that you see his name on production-wise are off the charts. That is the route that I would go, and I like that, whether it be SmackDown or Raw, or even if you split up the responsibility divisions-wise, you have creative minds.
That's when shows become a mess historically.
Yeah,
I hear that, but you also have people like Michael P.S. Hayes and Heyman that know what they're doing. Bruce Pritchard, even, got to give credit where it's due. I've been in this and done this forever. The history, right? They know what what they're doing.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually starting to question Bruce a little bit. If I'm being fully honest,
that's fine.
What
I don't
he's
even
got
know
his
how
name
we
attached to is actually a lot of the questionable stuff.
I don't
at
even
this
know
point.
how we directly. I'm starting to question Archie, man. He said Anthony Ricciardi, the best fantasy booker. I'm 2-0 against him in fantasy football. Fantasy book that. either way. I'm just saying.
Nothing to
I'm
do
just
with
saying.
booking.
Yeah, if we're talking about the fantasy round and booking, I booked both those wins.
He actually didn't want to come on a fantasy booking show. He turned it down, the opportunity.
He said no.
So I don't know.
Because he didn't want to take the spotlight from everyone else, guys. So that's the thing. No, but here's the thing. Doesn't he already delegate SmackDown to someone else already?
No, he currently is the head of both shows. He's the main one sitting.
I thought it was like maybe like Road Dogg or something that he delegated it to.
No.
I thought I'd maybe
he's
wrong,
involved, but
yeah.
it's him. He's in the he's in gorilla position for every show.
I agree that maybe he should delegate the positions, but then again, bookers have different mindsets to others. I mean, look how much.
Well, that's what I think it needs. I think there needs to be a different mindset.
Raw and SmackDown need to be aligned. NXT, HBK is completely different in his mindset to Triple H. That's why NXT is like vastly different to Raw. Like Raw and SmackDown are they need to be more perfectly aligned because they're on the same, on the main roster. So I think unless you want to do brand specific pay-per-views again or premium live events, I think you're kind of messing things up a bit if you don't align Raw and SmackDown, or you don't have.
That's what I'm saying. Have the person report to Triple H, right? Like currently, Road Dogg's the head writer of everything, right? To Donnie's point, but have on each brand have Triple H be the top guy in one brand, then have somebody else such as an Abyss, such as anybody really on the other brand, and they have to report to Triple H. And if they don't like what's going on, you can always get rid of them and replace them with somebody else if it's not working for you. So everything still has to go through Triple H, but at least it's under somebody else's vision, so the shows don't feel the same. And also, just because then Triple H can put more attention onto his show on a weekly basis, because it is impossible to write the amount of stuff which is currently being written, even with an entire writing team, right? Because it's just too much. You almost need two teams.
Yeah, the plate's too full.
That does make sense. But then one thing I do want to say is that from watching WWE the past few months, it's for me it's getting back on an uprise with its creative now. Like it's getting better. There's storylines that I'm personally invested in, like the Punk and Becky and Seth stuff. And then there's obviously unfortunately Naomi had to relinquish her title, but then you pivoted quite well with EO and Stephanie.
Congratulations, Naomi. What do you mean? Not unfortunately.
No, I mean unfortunately. Well, congratulations
for the fans, but congratulations, not for her.
They took 3 weeks to announce a match they teased the week before. They haven't handled that well at all.
No, but I'm saying that the pivot is good. And then whether you like it or not, the Brock stuff is getting a lot of people talking, and a lot of people are interested in it. So the thing is it's getting more popular again, I think. But so I think Triple H being replaced isn't the best idea. But like you said, maybe delegating it to someone else, that might be the option.
Yeah, and to clarify too, the writing obviously isn't being all done by Triple H.
No.
But what I'm saying is there should be two different teams. Triple H oversees both, but he focuses on one while somebody else leads the other, and that way they can, put more attention onto everything. Because right now, clearly for a lot of fans, something isn't working, and I mean, social views year on year are down too. Like that's something which you do have to keep an eye on that as well. That's not a good metric to know.
Also got like Atomic Merp was saying it here. If you watch Unreal, you'd change your mind about Triple H because he's not making the storylines alone. You do see the creative
we're not
room and
saying
the amount of
that.
people in there.
Yeah.
No, I know. My point is, it does seem like it's a collaborative effort. I agree with you on delegation, Ben. And there's a difference though between collaboration and delegation, right? And I think this is a more nuanced conversation than we can probably fit in the amount of time we have here segments.
But it's like the manager of a sports team. Right. Like if you don't think they're doing a good job, you know, you need to.
Yeah, it's like you got the goalkeeping coach, you got other coaches, you got the assistant coach, but
it's all under
Triple H is the one that makes the final calls, and he's the one that when the product's great, that he rightly gets praised, and when it's not so great, that he rightly gets criticized. So I think Triple H is, but I think he's doing a fine job at the minute. But obviously it's not.
It's not as bad as
popularity.
2019. The people saying that is just insane.
Triple
Clearly
Triple
we're not
H
watching at the time.
Triple H is worse as a booker. Is not as bad as Vince McMahon is worse as a booker. Like that's just the fact.
Nowhere close. Anyway.